6 o'clock, I will call to order the regular city council meeting, City of Biwabik. Shannon, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilor Burke.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Amy. Here. Waller.
Here.
Mayor Bernadette.
Here. Please, if you are able, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4, agenda approval.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, consent agenda.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, there were no consent agenda items pulled. Item 7, we have no nuisance hearings in front of us. Item 8, presentations. There were none registered ahead of time, which brings us to item 9, mayor and council member reports. Councilor Berg.
Well, there is a couple. Again, this week, short-staffed, gals took care of business again. You get a little nervous when Thai teacher comes to your house at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday. With the council package, it's extremely nice, and I want to thank you. That was very nice. And Mr. Mayor, that thing at Giants Ridge, fantastic. Thank you. That was, and all your other speakers, you really got the community. That was very nice. That's about it.
Councilor Lehman.
Oh yeah, shout out to Steve for putting that State of the City on. It was a good presentation, lots of community members, lots of people. Good show up for everybody. And then I wanted to bring up one other point that we've been talking about for however, but the old PUC building, just make note of that so that that doesn't get swept under the rug for land ownership and rental and everything else. I'd like to get that straightened out here eventually. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilor Nemi.
I was just going to bring up the state of the city, what a wonderful meeting it was. Like I texted you, so thank you for organizing that.
That's all.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Waller.
Well, like everybody else, the State of the City address was, really well attended, and I heard a lot of positive feedback about it. So, yeah, I think that, and then people are like, well, are we going to do it every year? And I said, I'm hoping to, that it'll be done. The water meter replacement project seems to be moving along without any trouble, as far as I know. Any?
There's been some
Oh.
hang-ups here and there, but we've been taking care of it as it comes up, and it's a lot of little stuff, and letters not getting on time, and post office delays, and there's been a handful of people that have questioned it and whatnot. So we've had to, yep, this is a legitimate thing, and you can believe it, and all that stuff. But yeah, for the most part, things are definitely moving. They did, I think, 142 last week, so on track over the next couple of weeks. So yeah.
Good. And then I'm just wondering, when are this, who supervises the sliding skating hill attendance?
The attendees or the attendants?
Attendance.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, they would ultimately report to me on it. Yes. Adam has kind of been acting as the liaison or public works guy. So whenever they've had an issue here or there, he's kind of been running over a broom or something, whatever they sort of need. But yes, in general, yeah, up to me.
Okay, and then when are they done, and who decides when they're done? I guess when we hired them, we didn't really.
Not
Depends on the conditions, I'm sure.
Yeah, I suppose it would. I mean, we had the hours and everything, but not like the what month they're gonna end on. So I guess.
Adam came up this morning and said that they're done.
Oh.
There's no ice and it's not allowed.
Okay.
Okay,
This weekend was their last weekend.
okay. And then I'm just wondering if possible, next year, if they could kind of get a head count of how many people are using the sliding hill. I just think that would be good for the city to know, especially if people are questioning, why are we hiring these people if there's never anybody there sliding? Then we can say, well, and we used to have like sliding parties and, birthday parties and things like that there, so I think we need to put that out again.
I come down there. Bring my kids.
And the skating rink, I don't know if they ever did get good ice this year.
Well, when my granddaughter went, it was not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weather dependent.
Yeah.
And then I did want to thank Michael for working on the age-friendly grants. Like he said, we put 3 grants in. And I just want people to know the people that are on the age-friendly committee. So if you have any questions, Jan Urick is on there, Mary Riley, Joan Evans, Wendy Brandt, and myself. And then Steve and Michael have been very instrumental and supportive of the age-friendly initiative, so I'm really happy for that. And just, we gave out a lot of surveys at the State of the City address, so if people still have surveys out there, we're still collecting them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I will say thank you to everybody who was able to attend the State of the City, and I definitely appreciate the feedback from everybody. And if I'm still sitting here next January, we'll do it again. I'm even looking at a potential, possible September, kind of getting into a little bit more just Biwabik focus without the, without the partnership speeches that we had this time around. So, had a legislative dinner last week for the Rams board. Was able to meet with the range delegation, also with Senator Champion he was the president of the Senate. It was a great discussion in talking about some of the priorities that we have up here, especially in our community. And we'll be continuing that with in the next 2 days. Michael got back from vacation today, and tomorrow we head to St. Paul for the League of Minnesota Cities Day on the Hill. And also on the front of the league, in your mailboxes, there's a invitation for the annual conference for the league. We have some time. The early bird registers all the way through April, I believe. But let Administrator Schultz know if you have any interest in going to that. It's the 24th to the 26th of June in Rochester. So if you like giving up your summer days, it's a good time to go. We just had our first EDA meeting. Was this evening, and kind of got that all set up, and that will continue. I look forward to getting beyond the setup part of it all and getting into the nitty-gritty on doing some economic development. And I guess I wouldn't be at a meeting if I wasn't promoting the Plaid Splash coming up at Giants Ridge on April 4th, where we're looking to attempt to set the world record on the largest gathering of tartan, also known as plaid. So. And then there's also one other thing. There's the Duluth and St. Louis County Days coming up in St. Paul, the 18th and 19th, along with the Ranger Party on the 27th. So that is all I have. We will move into item 10, old business. There's none. Moving on to item 11, new business. Item A, approval of letter of support for St. Louis County Sheriff's Office grant request.
Support.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the letter of support. Is there any discussion?
So I just had a question. Is this person going to be at the 911, or are they going to be with local departments? Do you know?
I believe it's supposed to be at 911.
Okay, that's
available to everybody.
Yeah, in dispatches, from what I understand, is they'd have an individual in the
the
actual
dispatch,
place to maybe
okay. Because
jump on calls, take over calls, whatever, stuff like that.
I know Virginia had somebody implanted with them. I don't know if they still do, so that's why I was kind of questioning. So I was surprised to see that they would actually be at the 911 center there. That's all my question.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11B, approval of fire resignation.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and seconded to accept the resignation from the fire department. Is there any discussion? I will add that it's a bummer to see TK go. He was a very, very valuable addition, but they're moving out of the area, so I'm hoping we don't see more of that in the upcoming months. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11C, Local Board of Appeal and Equalization meeting notification. We are set to be on April 14th. I will be attending remotely, hopefully. By 5 o'clock I should be tied up. So we will be Do we have to approve this by motion to set the meeting?
I'm trying to remember, I think I looked back and you guys had in the
Yeah.
past done a motion for that meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the local board of appeals. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11D, approval to advertise for summer workers.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded to approve advertising for summer hires. Any discussion?
Yes. Is it 32 hours a week?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then last year, when we were doing work down there, many times when we went there in the morning to pick things up, the summer youth were just sitting there. That they didn't have like duties assigned to them. And like we would even ask them, when you're done helping us, what are you going to be doing this afternoon? And they didn't know. So I guess I asked for this last year, that I would like to see a plan, like a weekly plan for their hours. And of course, things change. But it was just like, I mean, I felt bad for them because they sat around a lot. And, their lunch breaks and their breaks weren't really adhered to. And, I mean, I want to have these people working during the summer, but I think it should be that they're learning something while they're there, not just sitting around doing nothing.
I think we've taken care of that issue.
Okay, and that's what I was wondering, who would supervise them?
Well, it would be, ultimately myself, but then if we continue having a crew lead, they'd be the primary person that would likely be directing them day to day. I think just having simply weekly things like you're mentioning makes things a lot easier, because then there isn't as much direction. It's, these are the things you have to do, and you have a list that's a mile long. If you ever finish it, you can move on to the next thing. Yes, I've heard those complaints and issues as well, and I don't expect that to be a problem this year. I think they will have work to do. We'll keep them busy, and if not, I'll hear about it and find out about it, and there's always stuff to do.
Right.
So it's like, but yes, that will need to get kind of developed over the next few weeks here before they start, obviously, and make sure that there's a plan. So yeah, I will plan on having some sort of a weekly schedule of some sorts, but you're absolutely right though. Things will come up, things will change. There'll be, this, that, hey, we need you over here sort of thing, so.
Well, and then I had heard that the other towns have like an orientation for their summer workers. I don't remember if it was held in Mountain Iron or something like that. And I mean, even if there isn't like a big group one, I think that we should be doing an orientation for them.
I think the league puts one on in June.
Yeah, I think it's in June.
Last year was at the IMAC, so,
Just careful walking in there.
well, by then it shouldn't be an issue.
But I do agree that that's a bigger kind of regional training, and this and that's not really Biwabik, specific or anything, so.
It is a safety meeting though, and we have traditionally missed it due to lack of management. But like I said, those issues are kind of behind us now, so.
Yeah.
There's already plans and talks about making sure. That's why we're talking about it now in March instead of April, so that we're ahead of the curve and we're not hiring people and all of a sudden they're starting after that meeting happened and all these other items, so.
Because I do feel they're very valuable. When they helped us last year with the flower beds, I mean, it was good. We needed those extra hands. That's all I had.
Was there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11E, North Shore Development Cohort. As you guys can see in your meeting agenda packet, the North Shore Development Cohort is the grant money that we applied for through the Northeast Service Co-op. I'm sorry, the East Range, sorry, yeah, I was just talking about that earlier. The East Range Joint Powers Board, we had talked about through, and we had approved the grant application through the Northland Foundation. And this is the Jason Hale North Shore Development discussing housing, which is obviously going to come into play as we can do a partnership grant coming up. But as you can see, we're looking for a group of 10 people, and there's some meeting dates available there.
Yeah, they had put those in as potentially the initial meeting, but that can be adjusted. These dates aren't set in stone. And it's up to 10 people, and it could be a variety, whatever we think. As far as the council is concerned, obviously if you guys all wanted to pick the people and, we could reach out to them, or you can always sort of delegate it to, one or two councilors and city staff to, come up with valuable stakeholders that would be able to provide input and all that into this. And again, it says it's 2-3 times. They basically said there's an initial meeting, kind of a midway meeting, and then sort of a final meeting. There's not a huge time commitment or anything, but there'll likely be some maybe legwork in between meetings and whatnot, most of which is probably gonna be city staff handling it. But they definitely want more people involved that have a stake in the community that want to see this be successful. So.
I would say that we could trust city staff with the selection process, and if anybody has people in mind or is interested. I mean, if we have to post the meetings, we have to post the meetings. It's not a big deal.
If we had to,
But just know on that first list, they're the only one I'm available for is the 3 to 5. Patty and I already have a meeting on the 17th. I'll be coming back from St. Louis County Days, so I could do the 1 to 3 on that day as well, but a tight push after the breakfast meeting we have.
So you're looking at the 19th?
Yeah, the 19th from 3 to 5 would be the best. I don't know how that sits with everybody else, but
I would be willing, I would be interested in serving on this committee.
I would make a motion that we direct city staff to come up with the 10-person cohort, or up to 10-person cohort. I would make that motion.
I'll support.
It's been moved and seconded to direct city staff to come up with the up to 10-person cohort. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, external communications, we have none. Item 13, open public forum. Anybody from the audience or community wishing to speak, please head to the podium and turn the microphone on. And state your name for the record. I think you're going to hold it down for just a second. There you go.
Okay, well, my name is Mary Riley. I live here in Biwabik. I think that what I have to say is a little after the fact because of the fact that it's already been discussed about the summer help. And I worked weekly with 3 summer hires from last year. There were some horrific things that happened that were reported to the mayor and to certain council members. And I want to be sure that those types of things do not happen again with young workers for our city. I will leave it at that. I don't think I need to go into it more than that. The other thing is, they sat around a lot. They were not given guidance, and without them having guidance, it was a waste of our city's money having them work. When they worked, they worked very good. They did not always follow directions because at one point, they were told by whoever it was that was leading them in public works that they did not have to follow what we asked of them, and they were going to do it on their own. I want to state how valuable they were to us so much of the time, but without proper leadership, without them realizing that when they are out working with other groups of people, that those people, they are then follow what the directions of that crew is, not to, how do I want to put it, be belligerent, rude, and say that, yes, I have 15 minutes left to work, but I don't want to do what you're asking of me because I'm not going to miss my lunch period. If you have 15 minutes to work, you work for those 15 minutes. And maybe it's because I believe very strongly in a work ethic, that I feel that young workers need to have a strong work ethic. They need to be able to follow directions. And to tell you the truth, by the end of working with the three last year, because of things that happened, I would have fired two. And I don't want that to happen because, again, this is a very valuable program, and the council needs to really have a very focused plan and project and leadership, or I would vote very strongly against it if they do not have that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, we'll move to item 14, adjournment.
So moved.
Support?
Moved and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Meeting
20
adjourned at
minutes.
18:21.